Hello everyone and welcome to episode 25 of Let's Play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I'm post-commentating once again because Audacity decided it really didn't feel like recording the commentary for this episode. Lucky enough for me, I suppose the only episode that it did it with, so the other 4 episodes, including the one that I just posted last night, you will get my original commentary. But for this one, nope, you're gonna get a post-commentary, so sorry about that everyone. I have to, pause whenever... do my best to pause whenever I run into a bit of conversation in this.
This is private property. By what authority are you trespassing on this estate? The council. If you are here because of Shen Matales' disappearance, you are wasting your time. The Sandrals are not involved. This is nothing but a Matale witch hunt. Nurek left orders he was not to be disturbed, but given the circumstances, I will make an exception. Go into the main hall. Nurek will meet with you there.
Anyway, yeah, pause whenever I have to talk to people in the game, NCPs. I believe this starts up another cutscene as soon as this loads. I believe it does. Loading.
I have been informed by my protocol droid that you wish to speak to me. Cassius is dead? I was afraid of this. Yet in my heart I knew it must be true. What happened to my son?
He died. Weren't you listening? Cathound chew toy. That's funny.
Cathounds? I was so certain the Matale family was to blame. But this changes nothing. My own son is dead. Why should I shed one tear about the disappearance of my bitter enemy's son?
Typical. Anything to continue the feud which has become so customary to you people.
I must ask you something, though it is difficult for me. My son had a diary, his private, personal thoughts. Now that he is gone, I have nothing else to remember him by. Please, the diary means more to me than it ever could to you. I will give you 100 credits for its return. I thank you for this. The diary is all I have left of my son. We have nothing further to discuss. Please, leave me to my grief.
I'm pretty sure we do have further things to discuss, but you're not going to discuss them. You're going to walk away like a dickbag.
You are here from the council, are you not? Looking for Shen Matale? My name is Rahasia. Nurek is my father. He has not been himself since Cassius disappeared. He is mad with grief, and he is convinced the Matales are responsible. He's not thinking rationally. My father is a good man. When my mother died, he raised me and my brother by himself. He loves his children, and we love him. I just don't want you to judge him too harshly.
Bitch, I'll judge whoever I want.
You must understand that father has been under a terrible strain. I have no wish to disobey him, but there are matters where even my father's authority is not absolute. My father has kidnapped Shen Matale. He is holding him prisoner here in the compound. He feels this is a way to get back at the Matales, a way to get even for the disappearance of my brother Cassius.
I see. Well, there is the answer we seek. The Jedi Council should be informed of this at once.
You don't think that perhaps there's more to look at here, do you? That maybe everything isn't what it appears?
Of course not. It seems very simple to me. The Council must be allowed to decide the next step.
No. Since Cassis went missing, my father has become unstable. He might hurt him if you do that. He no longer even cares if the Matales are responsible for what happened to Cassis. I am afraid my father will simply kill Shen out of a mad, misguided lust for vengeance. Shen is an innocent victim in all this. My father is not a bad man, but his grief has driven him to madness. He must be stopped. Please, find Shen and rescue him before my father does something he will regret forever. I would take you to the prison, but I cannot let my father see me with you. Take this key. It will open an unguarded door at the rear of the estate. You and Shen can make your escape through there. There are many security droids guarding the halls. Please hurry. You are Shen's only hope. Alan Matale and my father have had problems ever since they settled on this world. To hear my father tell it, Alan is a brute and a bully, but a rich one. He feels his credits give him the right to step all over normal people. My father stands up to Alan because no one else will. But now he thinks Alan has taken my brother Cassis and has imprisoned Shen as revenge. Please find Shen and free him. You are my only hope.
Help me on Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Find Shen and there are many security droids. Shen and I, we have been taught by our families to hate each other, just for being related to our fathers. But I met Shen alone one day in the city, away from his father, and Shen was so charming, so sweet. He didn't care at all that I was a Sandral. He just accepted me for who I was, with no reservations. We talked and met again over months and fell in love. My brother Cassis met him too, and they were beginning to become friends. But then this whole mess had to happen. Please find Shen and free him. You are my only hope. Please. There are many Please find
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. We're going in the rear. Yeah, she wants us to go into the side entrance of her estate here and look through the various rooms, try to find a lock one, and find Shen Matale because he is imprisoned somewhere within. So we're going to go do that. Let's go kill shitloads of security droids. This should be fun. And there will be a shitload of security droids within. Rest assured of that. Missing companion, we still need to do that. Or no, we already did that. I'm sure she can go blank her droid in peace now. Because I'm pretty sure that's what the... Yeah, she's creepy. We'll just leave it at that. She's creepy. But she was falling apart without her droid to be creepy all over. So what can you do? As I remember, I saw this mine and immediately decided that I wanted to switch up my party member. I think that's what I did. Because I don't have any party members who have the ability to disable mines in my party currently, so I think I returned to ship here. Except it's not going to let me yet, because I have to destroy that first. Now I should be able to return to the ship, I think. Because I believe that's what I did. I returned to the ship and get mission, and then I come back out here and start searching for Shen Matale. So the Rangers won today. They took 2 out of 3 from the Boston Red Sox, so that's a pretty big deal. Although the Red Sox haven't exactly been great this year, their starting pitching hasn't been stellar. It was pretty good against the Rangers. Then again, that might just be the fact that the Rangers desperately need to fire hitting coach Dave Magadan. Something they should have done in 2013, because he was hired in 2013. As I remember, we had a hitting coach, I think his name was Thad Bosley, but I'm not entirely sure. and the Rangers were just awful under him. Absolutely awful. And they fired him, and then they hired Dave Magadan. And the hitting got...
Yeah, what do you want? I was one of the best youth warriors in the clan Ordo in my time. No one before me had mastered the power of our basilisk war droids as quickly as I had. Except Mandalore himself, of course. In those days, we were sweeping across the Outer Rim, destroying all who fought us. Young Mandalores would prove themselves in real combat with unknown opponents above 1,000 worlds. Each brought back stories of his achievements. I remember it well, orbiting high above a placid world, its defenses just stirring. As was tradition, I would go ahead of the first wave to find enemies in the thickest fighting. I remember sitting there in my armor, linked directly with the basilisk thrumming beneath me, my heart racing with fear of the coming battle. The doors opened in front of me, and the air was sucked out of the drop bay, scattering crystals of frozen vapor across my path. I can't describe what it feels like to look directly down at a world, falling continuously as you circle it, with barely 15 centimeters of armor plate protecting you. When the magnetic locks disengaged on my droid, I plunged out of the drop bay towards the battle that waited below. The exhilaration, the euphoria I felt as I streaked into the atmosphere, dodging self-guided projectiles and beam weapons, was unmatched. An 80-kilometer plunge through the atmosphere, dodging and weaving, the outside of my armor glowing like the sun with the heat of re-entry. And with barely 30 meters to spare, I twisted and skimmed the surface, firing at the giant beam generators that were in my path. The explosion from that sent shock waves that leveled the entire complex around it. It was the moment of my life. I'll never forget those times. But things are different now. We can't go on fighting the way we did. There are too few of us left now. But I really don't want to talk about this anymore. I trust I've satisfied your curiosity for now. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
Anyway, they hired Dave Magadan, and things got better, but they still weren't good because the offense would go through spells of 6 or 7 games in a row where they would be good and would get a decent and would get the pitchers decent run support for every game, and then they'd go through 6 or 7 games in a row where they were basically non-existent. They were like a non-factor, and they would the only way to get a win for pitchers would be to be darn near flawless and how they pitch the game, like 1-2 runs maybe, if you wanted to get a win in 7 innings, 1-2 runs, and hope the bullpen didn't come in and mess that up for you. It was frustrating to watch them go through spells where they just didn't hit at all. And Dave Magadan should have been fired after that season. Because if the Rangers had had more consistent offense throughout, instead of it just going through multiple droughts over the course of the season where it just completely dried up and disappeared, then it would have been a lot better. And there are other irritating things that they do.
Hey there, what can I do for you? Don't worry. I won't let the search for Griff get in the way of what we're doing. Let's just get back to the task at hand. Is there anything else I can help you with? Okay, have it your way.
Strike out too much. Don't walk enough. Things like that. Like, leave way too many men on base. That kind of stuff. Not, and they still do these things today, with Dave Magadan still being the hitting coach. 2014 was even worse. I mean, granted, there were other aspects that went into 2014 being just a terrible year all around for the Rangers, but
Mission, is that you? It's me, Lena, remember? I was dating your brother back on Terrace.
Lena? What are you doing here? Where's Griff?
I'm just passing through. Griff and I broke up a few months after we left Terrace together. Probably for the best. Your brother can be charming, Mission, but he's bad news.
Don't you start trashing my brother, you cantina rat. Take that back or I'll smack you so hard your head tails will pop off.
Mission, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting this way? You've got your facts a little backwards. Mission could have come with us if she wanted to. It was her choice to stay behind.
You liar! Griff told me that you didn't want his little sister tagging along. That's why he had to leave me behind.
Is that what the Hut Spawn told you? I wanted you to come with us, Mission. I even offered to pay for your ticket. Why not? I paid for everything else while I was with that freeloader. But he told me you didn't want to leave Terrace. I said we shouldn't even go then. But he said we'd come back and get you after we struck it rich on Tatooine. Just another one of his lies.
No, you're the one who's lying. Griff wouldn't... He wouldn't try to leave me behind.
Think about it. If Griff wasn't trying to ditch you, Mission, then why didn't he tell you where we were going? After we left Terrace, he told me looking after you was holding him back. Griff's always looking to blame other people for his own problems. That's why he abandoned you. He did the same thing to me, too. As soon as I ran out of money, he started blaming me for all of his problems. Like it's my fault his get-rich-quick schemes never work out. Hey, if you want to talk to Griff, go ahead. Last I heard he was going to make a fortune working the Zerka Corp mines on Tatooine. But as far as I'm concerned, he's out of my life forever.
Griff's better off without you anyway, you table-dancing, brother-stealing home wrecker.
I guess that's my cue to leave then. I didn't mean to upset you, Mission. But one day you'll see I'm right about your brother. I only hope it's not too late by then.
Well, that didn't go particularly well. Anyway, yeah. 2014 was... The 2014 Rangers season was like the single most injury-prone or injury-heavy season in the history of baseball. Nobody has had injuries as bad as that the entire time that the and the history of baseball is, I believe, I'm not 100% certain of that, but yeah, it was terrible. I swear to you, there were times when more than half the team that started was on the disabled list. So it was like the Rangers had to pull people up out of the minors that weren't quite ready for to be in the major leagues just to be able to fill out a lineup card. It was frustrating, to put it simply. But the hitting was still, I mean, it still was, shouldn't have been as bad as it was. Still making a whole lot of mistakes you shouldn't make. Swinging at bad pitches out of the zone. Not walking. Striking out entirely too much. Stuff like that. It was a very, very frustrating season to be a Rangers fan. And this year they started off just as frustrating because before the season even started, Yu Darvish, the Rangers ace, was hurt. Opening day happened, and despite Derek Hall and opening day starter complaining of tightness in his shoulder, I think the medical staff let him pitch anyway, which was a dumb move. They should have pulled him back and said, no, we're gonna take care of this and let somebody else start. That's what they should have done, and they didn't do. And he is hurt and has been hurt since that game, and he's going to continue to be hurt for a while. Eventually they'll get him back for this season, and they'll get Martin Perez back for this season, and hopefully Martin Perez can return to what he was, because we could have two guys who have the potential at least to be staff ace level, and next year we can have three between Holland, Darvish, and Martin Perez. So next year should be a better year. But the starting pitching has actually done a lot better than I would have expected. I mean, Gallardo is like a 3 or 4 guy. And Colby Lewis would be a number 5 starter on pretty much any other team. They signed Wandy Rodriguez off of waivers because the Braves decided to let him go for some reason. There's Shin Matales, but I'm going to continue exploring this place and do everything there is to do first before I go talk to him. Let's see, Ross Detweiler has actually been pretty awful, though. Wandy Rodriguez has been pretty good. Colby Lewis has been pretty good. Nick Martinez has been surprisingly great. Ross Detweiler has not been good at all, and he's hurt. And they had a spot start for him this last time with Phil Klein making his very first major league start. And he beat Boston in Boston. So 5 1/3 innings, I believe, was yesterday, and he pitched pretty well. I mean, you want him to go deeper into the ball games, but I understand why they didn't let him, because he's not used to being a starter, at least not in the major league level anyway. So I understand that, but you still want him to go deeper. Wandy Rodriguez did go deeper today. He went through 6 2/3 and was looked like a staff ace out there today. He was really, really good, which was good to see, because he wasn't nearly as good in his last start. So it's good to see him bounce back. So I imagine if the starters we have right now can keep the Rangers close to 500. They'll just get better with time. They'll,
Please, find Shen and rescue him before my father does something he will regret forever. I would take you to the prison, but I cannot let my father see me with you. There are many security droids guarding the halls. Please hurry. You are Shen's only hope. Please find
I mean, eventually you're going to get back Derek Holland, and you're going to get back Martin Perez. And when you do that, you can have Nick Martinez in the rotation, and then you could fill it out with anybody you wanted, really, because then you have more pitchers than you need at that point. Because, I mean, some of these guys we got specifically because, like, Darvish was hurt and whatnot. You probably stick some of them in the bullpen.
Who are you? What do you want with me? Are you working for my father? Rescue me? No. I won't leave. It's too dangerous. It's not my own safety I'm concerned about. I'm worried about the fate of Nurik's daughter, Rahasia. She's been trying to convince her father to release me ever since I was captured. If I escape, Nurik will think Rahasia is to blame. Nurik is insane with grief over the loss of his son, Cassus. If I leave with you, it is Rahasia who will suffer. I cannot allow that. If you can convince Rahasia to escape with us, I will accompany you. Though I do not know if she'd be willing to turn her back on her home and family. Who could imagine a Sandral doing such a thing for the sake of a Matale? But if she will not go, then I too shall stay. I would rather face my own death than have her face her father's wrath because I escaped. My father thinks the Sandrals are thieves and liars who followed him here to Dantooine just to steal what he's earned for himself. My father is an egotist and can be violent at times, but I think he still cares for me. Rahasia's father seems to be falling into the same pattern as mine. They're both too unreasonable to be talked to about the other. I think the only hope Rahasia and I will ever have is if we can escape both of them. Please, find Rahasia and speak to her. Get her to flee this place with me. If you can convince... Who could imagine us? I would rather face my... I was taught to hate the Sandrals, to think of them as evil and subhuman. But from the moment I saw Rahasia one day in the city, I knew that my father was wrong. She was like an angel, all white silks and perfume, seeming to float above the crowds. I don't know what else I could have done but fall in love with her. For months I wooed her and tried to win her heart. I believe I have succeeded, but now this has happened. Our families are always coming between us one way or another. Please find her and convince her to run away with me.
Yeah. If the starters can hold out and continue to be decent until we can get Holland.
What are you doing here? Have you found Shen yet? Shen can be so stubborn sometimes. If one of the security droids sees me wandering the halls, Father will get suspicious. I can't risk it. But I know Shen would rather die than leave me here alone to face the wrath of my father. Tell Shen I will meet you outside the gates. I will wait as long as I can, but you must hurry.
And Perez back, they will have options on what they want to do with the rotation. They could probably stick a few guys in the bullpen as well to help bolster that, because the bullpen hadn't been particularly good, although it's been better in the last 3 games. The last 3 games, the bullpen hasn't given up any runs as far as I recall, which is good to see because they hadn't been very good at all prior to that. But that's kind of a big if. They really need to fire Dave Magadan. And I'm not sure why they still have Dave Magadan on the team. Like, he should have been fired after 2013. Like I said, he wasn't fired then. He wasn't fired after the abysmal performance in 2014. The the hitting has been on and off and iffy this year as well, and he still hasn't been fired. So I'm sitting here like, what would it take? I want to see what Steve Bichelle, who's another bench coach for the Rangers, can do if he's the hitting coach. I assume he's the one that would step up and become the hitting coach if Dave Magadan finally got fired. I gotta wonder what the hell's keeping that from happening. It's annoying, to say the least. Anyway, how are you all? How was your weekend? Got a weekend coming up, actually. So I guess I shouldn't ask that. Whatever. Hello, Shin Matale.
Have you spoken to Rahasia? I pray she is not just telling me what I want to hear, but I will have to take that chance. Hurry then, we must not keep Rahasia waiting.
Shen, you're safe.
Rahasia! Well, thank goodness you managed to escape.
It was all thanks to this kind Jedi that we managed to get this far at all. I thank you, Jedi, for all that you have done for us.
No, we know that you must have gone to great personal risk to get us out of the Sandrals state undetected. But surely we can...
Oh boy. Here comes the Matales. And the Sandrals.
There you are, Shen.
Father!
Mr. Matale.
Rahasia!
Father.
Mr. Sandral!
Nurik.
Alan!
I knew this was all your doing. I knew you had captured my son.
You had taken my Casus from me long before that. You started it.
I don't want to hear any of your excuses. Now I will get revenge for your transgressions.
Please listen to him, Father.
Why should I listen to the Jedi? All you want is to remain with that Sandral harlot.
My daughter is not a harlot, Matale dog!
Our children don't know enough of what's good for them to make a reasonable decision.
It's better to let older, wiser heads like ours make the decisions.
Rahasia and I don't want you to make decisions for us. We want to live alone away from you.
You insolent boy! If you want to live alone, then so be it. I disown you. Never set foot in my house again.
I don't care. Rahasia and I will live on our own if you won't accept us.
You will do no such thing. I am your father, and I order you to come back with me.
No, Father, I won't.
Rahasia, you will not leave with this Matale boy.
I am, Father, and you can't stop me. We're leaving for the Enclave.
You foolish girl.
You expect us to just let them leave? Droids, stop them!
You will not turn your droids on my daughter. Droids, don't let them take Rahasia.
We appear to be at an impasse then. And they got away.
It is your fault, Alan. You were always too violent for your own good.
Me? You were the one who rushed out here with war droids. I will not rest until I have my Shen back. The Council will hear of the troubles you caused, Jedi.
Indeed they shall.
Thank you everybody for watching this episode of Let's Play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below. That would be greatly appreciated, and we will talk to you guys next time. Thanks everybody, bye!
My brain, my brain.